What's up, troopers? It's your boy DB, and I am joined today by the man with the greatest hair in Galaxy of Heroes, my boy Gridan. How you doing, mate?
Oh, I'm doing good, brother. I'm actually a little embarrassed now. I decided to wear a beanie today, but
Outrageous. Everyone's expecting the do. Come on.
I know I woke up and I was like, well, I want to, but
So it saves you sorting your hair out for stream. Why do you think I started wearing beanies?
I feel like at this point, since I've never seen it, I feel like you just have the best hair on earth
Oh,
underneath
no.
underneath that beanie, and people can't handle it. So you're like, I'm gonna keep it under the wrap so that people don't lose their minds when they see it.
Oh, it's probably somewhere between the Beatles, Howard Wolowitz, and Kelso in that '70s show. It's an absolute bomb site back underneath there right now. No, I'll be hiding it for a long time.
No,
Can't
don't
get
do
my hair
that.
cut in a minute, obviously. So,
Yeah, right.
all right. So before we get into this, is your name Gridan or Gridan? Because I've been told both, and I'm sure a lot of my viewers aren't entirely sure either.
So here's the problem is I'm not sure either at this point.
There we have it, guys. The creator doesn't know what his own name is.
I'll say it started as Gridan.
Right.
It's just a play at my name. It's basically just my first and last name and some other stuff just sort of mashed in there.
Okay.
But the problem was when I made it, I had recently come home from Brazil. I lived in Brazil for a little bit,
Okay.
and I's down there are pronounced as E's. And so when I made my name, I called myself Gridan all the time. But when then people started asking about it, I was like, oh, it's off of my last name, but the way that it's pronounced there is Gre. And so I was
Right.
like, okay, never mind, it doesn't make sense. And so people are like, so how's your name? And I was like, I don't know. And then people started calling me Gridan, and then Grid for short, and then Gridan. Cub still calls me Gridan. I've started calling myself Gridan, but I don't know at this point, and I respond to either. So
I always called you Gridan because you were turning up in my streams for months and months before we've got around to working together today. And I always just called you Gridan. And then
Yeah.
someone was like, oh, you're saying his name wrong. And I'm like, really? I've been doing this for months.
And then I pop up and stream, and I'm like, really? I'm like, I don't know. You call me whatever, brother. It works.
And then, okay, there we got it, guys. Straight from the mouth of the creator. Doesn't really know what his own name is, so just call him whatever.
Either one works.
Right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of the video. Galactic Legends. Now, this seems to have completely divided community. Some people are loving these characters. Some people are absolutely hating them with a passion. Although pretty unanimously, the event itself was panned. A lot of people didn't like it. What are your thoughts?
Yes. So that is obviously it's a hot topic, and I think it's going to stay a topic for. I mean, if this is the only thing that we got in the last 4 months, we don't have a whole lot else to talk about.
Yes,
It's not like we
exactly.
can kind of just switch topics really easy because there's nothing else to talk about. But it is a game influencing thing, I think is kind of what it comes down to. And it's changed a lot of the game already. Just this morning, right, we were talking and someone soloed the STR, right, with
Yeah.
Kylo. That's what, 120 million damage or something?
Yeah,
I
I've seen
saw-
one of those runs. Insane.
Yeah, like that's already. So now so obviously he's going to solo every raid.
Yep.
Absolute monster in the arena. My buddy Ram just made a video on how you can just massacre Galactic Legend raid teams in arena, but not just Galactic Legend raid, but literally every other team as well. So it's going to take over an arena. Well, Galactic Legends, not just Kylo, but Galactic Legends are going to take over an arena.
Yeah.
GACs. I mean, they're going to be everywhere. It's going to change the game, and I feel like it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, it's kind of going to be a case that we're going to get to a point in, once the next batch or two have come out, that we're just facing full teams of Galactic Legends, and pretty much anything else is going to have no chance in hell of actually beating them.
Yeah.
I've seen the heroic AAT where you just stick Supreme Leader Kylo with Hoda and that's it, and it's done.
Yeah.
It just autos the whole thing. And
Yeah.
you plug him into the Treyarch's Order team that I've promoted several times in
Fantastic.
place of Kylo and Mast, and then you get those 120 million runs in the heroic Sith raid. So
Yeah.
absolutely insane for damage, these characters.
Dark Omega. He put out a
Yeah.
video. Granted, I didn't see what all of the stats were, but it was just Supreme Leader Ren
Yeah.
and Watt, and he beat a Galactic Ray team.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, what are we coming to in this game? It's I don't know. If it were actual end game content, it would make a little. It makes sense. But I have a buddy who's doing. This is some insider stuff here. He is making a new account just to see how quick he can get a Galactic Legend.
Right.
And he's going to whale, obviously, and try and get as quick as he
get
can.
his relics, otherwise he'd be there all day.
Yeah. But he wants to see, is this something that a new player, you buy your Hyperdrive bundle, you get the characters. Within like a month or two, would you be able to have a GL sitting in your account? Because that's even worse than the Maliks and the Darth Revens and
that'd be
so on and so forth. Yeah, you
imagine
pop
like
up
a
in
sub
GAC
1
with
million
a Galactic
account.
Legend.
Sub 1 million account with it. My word.
Yeah, I'm like, great.
Yeah, I mean, I've got like a year plus probably until I get one of these characters at this rate, and I'm pretty terrified because I know I've already got one guy in my guild with Ray. A few others are just kind of getting all the tokens together to actually do her horrible event. And it's not going to be long before these are everywhere. At the moment, I don't think people are really feeling the full effect of it because there's only like a few hundred of them around at the moment. But it's going to get to the point where the whole top 50 or Shard has these.
Yeah. And I had my first Galactic, two now. I have 2 Rays in my arena now. Fully decked out. 6 Zetas, Relic 7, the whole shebang. And they're already, I can see them when they're playing around with that team composition, and I'm just like, guys, it doesn't matter. I can't beat it, whatever you're doing. It doesn't change anything for me. They're doing that Ray, was it Ray, GK, Malik, Nest, Barris, or GK, Chewie, L3, or the Resistance Heroes. I'm like, doesn't change anything for me. My strategy is the same. There's that little button in the top left corner. It looks like a cog. I press that and then forfeit, and I go on with my life.
I'm pretty sure most of us are going to be doing that for quite a while. Most of the teams I've seen that can beat certain compositions, all that's happening is people are just cycling away from those compositions and finding ones that team doesn't beat, and then everyone's back to square one of not knowing what the hell to use. So
and then they don't even have ultimates yet. So
I know.
Everyone's hard work is going to change here in a couple of weeks or something when they get the ultimates, and then all of that hard work will probably just have to be redone with a different account or a different team or something.
Once the ultimates arrive, you're probably going to have a Galactic Legend to be able to counter, really, and that's kind of it. Yeah. I don't see how the standard teams are really going to do a whole lot, because those standard teams are really pushed to their limit right now in actually beating them.
The theory crafters are pushed steep on figuring out teams that work, and I think as soon as they have the ultimates, but I think that's how CG designed it. They wanted to release them together and say, oh, it's a dyad, but so that there's no theory crafting of, no, if you want to beat this team, you use the same one or the other one, and that's all you get. So it forces the spending even more, and that's what really has me nervous. That they're like, oh, we want these guys to not be specific to one faction. They're theory crafting teams, and it's like, well, it's theory crafting teams amongst themselves for the other Galactic Legends. So in a long-term effect, I feel like it's going to kill or at least seriously injure theory crafting in a whole.
I kind of had the same feel. I mean, I smirked the second you said they're theory crafting teams for the very same reason that you then followed with, because they're so powerful that you can only really theory craft if you're going to have one of the others or the same character, especially once the ultimates arrive. At the minute, I mean, I've given several ideas to people that have legends or are trying to counter them, and they're doing pretty well. But the ultimates still aren't here, and when that comes, I think things are really going to change, and it's just going to get a lot more unpleasant for the rest of us.
Especially Kylo's, dude. Kylo's ultimate is insane.
Yeah.
Like, all this stuff that we're seeing, these solos, that's without an ultimate. His ultimate just turns him into a monster. No cooldowns whatsoever. Can't be defeated or damaged or whatever it is. The whole shebang for 3 turns. Dude's going to go nuts. Like, so the whole thing has me nervous. And honestly, on a separate account, if I may just real quick, the event really was... it's the topic's been beaten to death, I know. But the event itself is really embarrassing. And quite insulting for a lot of players. And that's been the big topic that a lot of people have mentioned, where it's not just like the characters are crazy themselves. Obviously, they're nuts. But it's like, CG, what was that event?
I wasn't impressed either. I really wasn't. The rock, paper, scissors thing.
Yeah. It took 4 months to produce that? That's But
it's like they put
it's
all the
alarming.
time in, they put all the time into the art department judging what they were talking about, and the only one that looks good is Kylo Ren's face.
Yeah.
So it's like you
Yeah.
took 4 months. I don't understand what they were really doing, to be honest, because the rock paper scissors mode was from Harry Potter, and it wasn't even
Yeah.
popular in that game.
Yeah.
And it was like, let's find a mode that nobody likes and put it in this game.
Sounds like. Do you work
yeah.
for CG?
It's just.
Were you
just
in their
strange.
little pitch meeting for CG? Because that's the conversation they must have had.
They must have had that conversation, and I was so disappointed with the rock paper scissors mode. I was like, wow. When I heard about Duel, I was like, oh, we could end up with a really cool little mode here. I remember Cub does those one-on-one tournaments, and I thought, oh, this could be interesting. But then they took everything interesting out of it and just made it a dice roll. Really, it's just kind of like, all right, just guess which one they're gonna do now. And try and protect your points, and that was it. And it was like, wow, this isn't really any fun at all.
Yeah.
But that's Galactic Legends in a nutshell for you, really, wasn't it? It was a bit disappointing. Right, let's talk about this Death Star raid rumor that's going around. I'm just going to get them up now. They've appeared in the titles, I believe. I just have my ally code up, so I'm going to get like 1,000 ally requests now.
Nice.
I get it every time. Oh, come on, is there not a faster way that I can scroll to the bottom? Joys of playing a mobile game on your PC. Right, there they are.
Click.
Trench Runner. What is it? Earned by completing the Trench Runner feat. Galen Erzo's engineering design floor ended in a thrilling conclusion. And then there's the Wingmate 1, Wedge in Red 2, Biggs in Red 3, accompanied by Luke Skywalker in Red 5. With the attack on the Death Star. Now, ever since these appeared, people started freaking out that the Death Star raid was coming. But as far as I can tell, just by simply reading these titles, they're just the Grand Arena feats for the next run. What do you think?
I could see it going either way. I feel like CG has been under such a rap lately with communication. Obviously, they've never really been good at it, but like any leak or any bit of information about the game has always come from them, right? Yeah. Ever since the Game Changer program died and leaks sort of disappeared, and after that's always been speculations with data mines and stuff like that. Yeah. So part of me is like, unless that was a huge mistake in throwing out those titles prematurely, and I feel like they would have pulled them, if it was a true indication of something, because they've never really done, leaks. And they've done the games in the past when they left, a little code about like 3PO or Malik or whatever it was.
Yeah.
They've always done
definitely 3PO.
So just some random titles. I feel like I could see it, but that's not in their forte. So part of me is thinking, it could be a Death Star rumor. Obviously, those titles imply that it would be a Death Star raid, and a lot of people have talked about a Death Star ship raid
for a long time. Yeah,
long time. So I could definitely see it, but it doesn't exactly fit their forte. So I'm kind of like, I'm not sure. It could be, could not be. I think it'd be cool, but at this point, a lot of my hope has gone out the window for CG. So I feel like it's just, they just threw us some random titles for no reason, because why not? But I'd like to see it.
The way I see it is that they're just going to be Grand Arena feats, and people have just got overexcited because they've seen the word Death Star in there. And we know they are supposedly working on a raid. They mentioned this just before the new year. I think it was along the lines of once they've got through the new movie content that they would get to a new raid for us. And I hope that is the case. But even if they do, I don't actually think it would be Death Star related anyway. We've got an original trilogy raid in the Rancor. We've got a prequel one in the Heroic AAT, and we've got an Old Republic era one in the Heroic Sith raid. So I always thought if we were going to get another one, it was going to be related to the new trilogy, much like the current wave of characters are. So we'd probably get a fleet battle, but it would be the battle from the end of the last movie.
Yeah, I could see it being Rise of Skywalker, or maybe like Starkiller Base. Yeah, I could see one of those two for sure. But it doesn't quite make sense to go back to the Death Star just yet, especially since they've been all over on the timeline, right? They've gone from we've gone from Old Republic to the Clone Wars, and I get that because it is a Clone Wars, the new season release and its anniversary and everything, so that made sense. But to then just bounce back and just all of a sudden just go back here's the Death Star, it's like, okay, but
where did the original trilogy stuff come from again?
But if they do, that could be. Everyone's kind of talking about maybe a new Galactic, or the other Galactic Legends are going to come in with Luke and a new Vader or something like that. So you could see it. You know, if they're like, here's a new Death Star, we're gonna go back to that trilogy, and then the new Galactic Legends. So I could see it, but I'm not
Yeah.
totally sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would understand it if we do end up with Jedi Luke as the next light side one. I would suspect we'd probably get like a throne room Palpatine to go with him, because I think if we get another Vader, it would actually be Episode 3 versus Master Kenobi, who a lot of people have called for as well. So I think that's where we would get the next Vader, although he would still have an Empire tag, I would imagine, because they kind of formed it at that point. But I just don't see it being overly likely at the moment. But who knows? If with the next bout of Galactic Legends, it could end up foreshadowing that we revert back to some old original trilogy stuff, because I know a lot of people want to see that back. A lot of people don't like the newer stuff or the now non-canon Legends stuff, and I mean, I personally do, but I understand a lot of people don't. And Rebels and Empire kind of haven't been a thing for a long time now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you were around during that time as well, but you know that used to be the meta with wigs and whatnot. And then, you know, everyone's like, I'm sick of Rebels, let's do something new, you know. And then so they moved on, and now we've gone through every other meta, and it might be time to wrap back around. You know, Galactic Legends came out, Rey and Kylo, this whole trilogy might be wrapping up. They're going to backtrack, let's go through Clone Wars one more time or something, and then let's go back to the original trilogy. Here's Jedi Luke, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do that, because, as I said, it was nicknamed Galaxy of Rebels, wasn't it? Because there was just so many of them, and nothing for any other faction, and we had like multiple different Rebel metas, and it was, I wouldn't be surprised. It's clear the developers like the original trilogy, so But for these particular titles, I would say they're feats, but
I
maybe
think
some original trilogy stuff is on the horizon.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Right. Speaking of stuff on the horizon, though, one thing that a lot of people are talking about is Mandalorian content. Obviously, we just recently got IG-88 as one of the daily login character. I know a lot of people are like pouncing on that because of IG-11, but also they put Resistance Poe, I believe, on one of the Jawa nodes, which also has a lot of people like saying that's foreshadowing. It's actually Jawa. I've just double checked it. What do you think about potential Mandalorian content? I mean, I would love it to come. I feel it should have come already, but better late than never, really.
Yeah, like I'm really confused why they. I mean, they don't have to put all content of, you know, Star Wars into the game. Well, I think it would be epic, you know, because like you got the entire Star Wars universe at your hands, you know. You can make whatever you want. You can put whatever you want in there. It's so expansive and extensive, right? And Mandalorian was one that was hugely and widely received as being excellent. So it's like, well, sorry if that showed up in the audio there.
No worries.
Hugely accepted and received very well. And so it's like capitalize on something that everyone loved anyways. You know, I don't want it to be a huge paywall thing, but people loved it. That's an easy way to make your viewers and your players really happy. So I'm kind of confused why they haven't added it. And I'd love for it to be added, but I don't really know.
I'm really shocked it hasn't arrived sooner myself.
At least something.
I would have thought, as a developer, as soon as that show started to blow up really quickly, I'd have been like, wow, what can we do to get something from this show into the game like as fast as possible? But nothing's happened.
At least something. And so the thing with IG-88, here's things. Obviously, people want it to be, or a lot of people, I should say, want it to be about IG-11 and some kind of hint towards that and what could be coming. But again, they don't do a lot of hints, and if we look at what IG-88 is, you know, he's a bounty hunter and a droid. Could that be hinting towards anything else? You know, we want it to be about the Mandalorian, but could it be about something else? Well, sure. You know, or it could just be, well, we picked a random tomb for you because.
Yeah, exactly. They've done that many times. We had Luminara last month or something, and that meant nothing. And we've had like TIE Pilot and several others that meant absolutely nothing. So I didn't read too much into that. But when it was paired with the fact that Poe got added onto a Jawa one, I was like, man, are they going to give us like another Jawa from the Mandalorian show and make us develop this one team that a lot of people don't have developed to unlock Mando? That would... I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. That's the kind of thing they would do. They like to pick factions that people don't have developed And there's very few that we don't have developed at this point outside of Tuscans and Jawa maybe. And
yeah,
I can't even really think of any other factions that have been totally neglected, to be honest.
Sith. They haven't done a lot with Sith or Jedi for sure. Yeah, no, I would love it. But just like I said, I mean, and it's kind of a sad thing, but yeah, my hope and confidence in CG doing stuff that people like and want is unfortunately kind of hurt. You know, it's kind of scarred, and I would love that, but man, until they say something, my and this sucks as a content creator, you know, of trying to speculate things for fun.
Yeah,
is hurt because I'm like, they never do anything for us, you know, or all the things that players are like, I want this. This would be cool. You literally just got to go onto the forums or Reddit and be like, what do people want? Guys, we don't even need creativity. They're telling us exactly what they want.
Uh-huh.
And you just look at it and be like, oh, literally like 80% plus 90% of the player base is like, we love The Mandalorian. You should make it. And they're like, in their next pitch meeting, they're like, so what content should we bring? And someone's like, I don't know, rock, paper, scissors. And he's like, print it. Like, it hurts because you want this stuff. And then it feels like they just keep ignoring you, you know, which is sad.
It really does. I don't make a lot of speculation videos. A lot of people want me to because I've done a couple in the past when the game was a little bit more alive. I haven't really done any as of late because I feel like all I would do is get people's hopes up, and then they'd be let down. I mean, Cub did the video I think about the IG-88 being the daily login character, and I saw the thumbnail immediately, and I got both excited and then immediately disappointed at the same time. I was like, oh yeah, that would be great, Cub, but what are the chances, mate? You know, that was kind of how I was. I was not even shot at Cub. I like Cub, but that was my initial reaction. And I thought, if I felt that, and then I go and make a video that's very similar, people are going to have that same excitement followed by immediate disappointment. And it's like
I feel like have you seen that Avengers meme with why am I forgetting his name now? Hawkeye. You know, and he's like, don't do that. Don't give me hope. Have you seen that one?
Oh, yeah. Yes, actually, I have seen that one.
That's exactly what I feel like with CG. I'm just like, don't do that. Don't give me hope. Don't do it. Like, it's sad. I would love it. You know, like me and Going Nerdy, we talked about it. Mm-hmm. Going Nerdy is actually in my alliance, and so we talk all the time.
He's a good dude.
Good dude. He's an awesome guy, and we're just kind of joking around about it one time, and I was on with the podcast, and we're joking about it, and it we're like, what would be fun with the Mandalorian? And could you imagine almost a mechanic, not exactly a summoning mechanic like GBA, you know, but close with, it's just like it's basically a 2-character sort of deal where Baby Yoda comes with Mandalorian, and he's just like his little healer. It's not a summoner, it's not a playable character, he doesn't do anything, but he sits over there and like passively heals the Mandalorian or passively applies dots whenever the Mandalorian attacks, you know.
That'd
something
be quite
really
a
easy.
Sweet idea, yeah, like just an accompanying character.
He's in his little carriage thing that, you know, is floating around with him, and when Mandalorian takes a turn, that it opens up and there's a little Baby Yoda, and he waves his hand and heals him, and then it closes again. Like,
that'd be so good. Like if
wouldn't that be cool?
If Mando loses his protection, then Baby Yoda stuns the enemy or something along those lines.
Yeah,
there's
like
that'd be so cool.
Many possibilities, and you just got to watch the show, and the content's there. And I don't even know at this point if CG watches Star Wars or something. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on. It looks like they're on a big hiring spree at the moment anyway. But it's like 16 vacancies or something huge.
Yeah.
But hopefully that's a sign that they're trying to reboot things over there and get enough people in and actually pay attention to the community and what's going on in Star Wars itself.
I would love that. I feel like I've ranted a bit too much on CG during this video, so I do apologize. I'm normally not quite like that. I'm just a little butthurt at the moment, you know, a little flustered with them, especially where I've played a few other games now, and I've spoken like personally with developers of other games. I'm not a big content creator. I'm still a small guy, and these dudes are awesome in helping me get into the game, and I'm like, what? CG guys, you got $1 billion. Please give us some love. Like, I love Galaxy of Heroes so much. I love the game so much. I love all these other content creators. I love the community. Like, genuinely, DB, it's been hard during this video. I'm not going to tell you, man, to fanboy. I've been watching your videos for years. It's so fun to actually be making this video with you and talking about Galaxy of Heroes and this game and this content that we love. I want CG to do so good, and like I still have hope for CG to do awesome, but it's hurt. And so I'm doing this sort of like, please CG, you know, I'm just like, please do better for us, you know. And I really do have the hope that the game can turn around, and I'm hoping, part of me is still just like, come on, let's use this time. Yeah, revamp. Get rid of the old Game Changer program. Kill it if you have to, you know. Yeah. And like get a new one rolling. Let's revamp this game. And I want them to so bad, but it's just hurt a little bit.
They have the opportunity. It's such a big title. They've made so much money. They've got such a big community. There's Star Wars fans everywhere. So if any game has the chance to revive itself, it's this one. And it's just on them to do it. As simple as that. That is all there is to it. So yeah, let's hope, dude. Let's hope, eh?
Yes, I still do have that hope. I love the game, and CG, you got this, guys. You can do it. Like, you can make an amazing video game out of this. Like, I believe in you guys. Just do it. You can do it. Come on.
You heard it here, CG. Get it done. I think that about wraps up the video, dude. I think we hit all the main news points that have been in everyone else's videos lately. So yeah, thank you for coming on. Feel free to plug your channel, because everybody that watches me should be subscribed and watching you, in my opinion.
I super appreciate that, DB. Yeah, guys, it is a massive, like I just said, massive pleasure and genuine honor. I don't say that lightly. It is a genuine honor to finally be here on the channel. I do say finally because our schedules are almost polar opposites.
Yes, they are.
It's been difficult to finally make this work. The quarantine helped, obviously, but it's a massive pleasure, man, to be on the channel. Guys, if you haven't already, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitch. You just search Gridan WWL or Gridan WWL, however you want to pronounce it, but it's spelled the same.
I'll put your links in the description below, and I'll pin it in the comments as well. So hopefully people find you
appreciate that,
and support you as well. I'd really like them to. You're one of the very few creators that I watch myself, so.
That means a lot, man. I really, really do appreciate that. Massive honor, massive pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here with the troopers on the 125th. It's epic.
You're welcome, mate. Thank you for coming on. That about wraps it up, guys. So thank you for watching this video. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Go sub to Gridan. Be sure you're subbing to me. Like that video. And until next time, your general's out of here. We're all out of here. See you next time, guys.